Hello, 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 and welcome to this very first new month of April at the Follies. We have one act for you that's going to happen at 9 o'clock tonight. And until that time, I'm going to do a few things that will give you all information about what's happening with the Improv Festival for 2022. And it's really important because in order for us to have a real life component to our festival this year, I need some action by the 6th of April. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time right now going over things about it. And then Jonathan Pitts, who's one of our featured faculty for the festival, is going to come on and we're just going to talk a little bit. He does not know the exact location, but I have to give him credit for the fact that what we're doing this year is going to be a festival retreat. So the festival, just like it's been being advertised, is going to happen on the beginning on Thursday, the 15th of September in the late afternoon, and go through 4 o'clock on Monday as long as people can stay. If they have to catch their planes out early on Monday, that's fine. I wouldn't plan on leaving on Sunday since that's the bulk of when our shows will be. It's a hybrid festival, and why it is hybrid is that the teams that are curated will be working before the festival together by a virtual mechanism, and then they'll come to the festival and they'll complete the preparation for their shows. So we'll let Jonathan tell us a little bit about one of the formats that he has in mind when he gets here at about 8:30. In the meantime, there's about, in this 4-day range, there's several options that people can have in order to participate. And the one that we recommend, the one that we think is going to be like the most best deal, everything, is what I'm calling the whole shebang. That would be coming in at 5 p.m. on Thursday and staying as long as you wanted to on Monday. And that the way we're going to do it is going to be a retreat center about 30 miles north of Boston on the North Shore. It's a nature center. It's absolutely beautiful. It's high tech in that organizations like Google and Harvard use it for retreats, and they have all the tech stuff that they need. So we definitely will be able, well, I say definitely, we should be able to, with the assistance of our amazing tech people, be able to broadcast and live stream, hopefully to our website by then, if not to Facebook Live. There's a little bit of confusion for people, and I seem to be pretty good at confusing people, so I'm sure it's me and it's not them. That's one of the reasons why I want to explain it. The costs of the festival are determined by, in this case, it's all inclusive. So what you pay is going to cover, the fees for a regular festival plus food and lodging if you choose to stay there, and all the activities that would happen at a retreat kind of resort. Anyway, the festival fees are determined by what we need to pay the faculty, what we need to pay our production team, and that's pretty much it. That we do our best to keep the fees as low as possible. And this year, I think it's around $31 an hour of educational time. I might be off by an hour or two, but that's in terms of, I might be off by $1 or two, and I might be off by an hour or two, but that's about how we figured it out. And that time is divided between the time on site and the time that's done pre-festival. That cost is $750. That's a lot. Well, it's actually 800, but if you sign up as an early bird, probably through May, you'll get an early bird rate and you'll pay $750 for it. That's a lot, we recognize, but our class sizes are approximately 8 is our goal. Depending, this year we might have groups as large as 10, but we're aiming for 8. And that's what we typically have in our classes. That's what we've had at our festivals in the past. So we have a very small teacher to student ratio, if you want. We have a nice sized team. A lot of places that you'll go at a festival, they could have 16 to 25 people in a group, and we just don't do that. But along with that comes a little bit higher cost because you still have to pay the same faculty members, just spread out among fewer people. So what Vintage has decided to do is to offer an early bird, a super early bird special, but it's only good through the 6th of April. And the reason why we're going to do it, and I'll explain it in a minute, is because the critical thing for us, the thing that we can't discount in any way, shape, or form, is how much the facility takes from us per person per day, and that's $250. So we decided that we will, in order to make the initial deposit to the festival site, that we would totally give the educational part, the festival part, for free to the people that will back us up and sign up for the whole shebang by April the 6th. That is, like I said, that's an $800 savings. So you pay for the festival nothing. You pay for the site, the price that everybody has to pay, which is $250 a day, and then we subtract a $50 early bird discount fee. So you basically get yourself there, take an Uber because you won't need your car for anything, and probably be able to share a ride back. Everything is there. They cook for us. It's a it's more like a dorm style than a camp style, but you have a roommate. You can pick your own roommate. You're not going to be stuck in a room with the opposite sex unless that's something that you all have co-requested. You're not going to be stuck in a room with anybody really unless unless it's you're okay with it. You do not have to stay at the festival site. You do have to pay the $250 a day fee, but the lodging is what I'm going to call complimentary. We have the whole facility for those 4 days. The places are there and we can use them. So you're welcome to stay as long as space is available. You'll definitely be able to stay if you sign up for the whole shebang or the Whopper or pretty much anything in this period before April the 6th. All right. If you are seeing this live and you have any questions, I'm sure Xander will help me out by putting them in the chat. So feel free to ask them and I'll keep an eye as well. But basically, the total cost, for example, our festival, when we had it at the Armory in 2019, was determined by what we paid the faculty and what we paid for the facility. And so that cost was whatever it is. For this year, because of COVID and because of people's concerns about, varying levels of comfort of being out in the world, and I have to predict this thing months and months in advance, we're going with the idea that probably being in a place where we're sequestered amongst ourselves and we've met the vaccinated, boosted to the level that the CDC in Massachusetts are recommending for people our age as the bottom line criteria. And then if they're recommending testing before, we may do that, but we're going to wait and see what those more specific recommendations are and are reasonable as we approach September. But the group of people that will be at the festival are going to be COVID safe as you can get. I mean, I guess there's always a little window, but we want to protect the people in our age group that have the higher risk for side effects, higher risk for catching the virus, and if you catch it, you've got a higher risk of spreading it. So in that regard, being sequestered more or less into this beautiful retreat area provides us all some level of protection. We will broadcast out. We won't have a live audience who we cannot control what their vaccination status is and whether or not they've got COVID, but will work because of the high-tech nature of this facility to be able to live stream it. Hopefully we'll be live streaming to our website by then, definitely to Facebook Live, and hopefully to YouTube simultaneously. So I don't see any questions there, so I'll just keep going. In order for us to meet the initial deposit, it's a guarantee to the facility, and they are revving up because they've been closed for a large part of the pandemic. Groups haven't been going there. This is the time when groups are starting to book, and she's holding the space for us until April the 6th, at which time we have to sign a contract and pay, I think it's about $5,400. So we've guaranteed that night, which is why this is a $250 non-refundable deposit. Once we get if we get enough money to make that non-refundable deposit, we'll keep the money and give it to them. If we don't come anywhere near making the $5,000, then everybody that gave the $250 will get their money back because we don't have anything to do with it. But once we've made the payment, that money is non-refundable. If something were to happen and we still had to cancel the festival, I can't imagine what that would be, but say we did, and we now have this non-refundable situation, Vintage will give you back in credits that amount of money towards other educational things that we have. What's the savings for the whole shebang? Oh, I love that question. The regular price would be $1,900. Yeah, $1,900. You would be paying $950. So $1,900 minus $950. Is that, I don't know, is that $850? I don't know. I think it's $850. You save about $850 because you also get an early bird $50 discount as well. And it will never be this low again. It's never, we cannot take away anything else from the cost of the festival. We feel so strongly that we've been dealing with this situation as a community for these last 2 years, and it's been right at 2 years that we've been dealing with it, and we've been sticking by each other, and many of us have only ever met virtually, that if we as the festival, as the board for our festival, can do something to help people get to spend some time together, that we're going to do it. So this is our commitment to making it happen. Even though we're a small nonprofit and we don't have an endowment, we're going to come up with the money to be able to pay the festival fees for the people that are helping us out by April the 6th. And especially the whole shebang. The whole shebang is that $850 savings. If you sign up for the Whopper, which the Whopper is coming on Friday and staying anytime up until Monday, the cost is about the same, but that's because we're not incentivizing it quite as much. You only save $500 in festival fees, but you have to still pay for three nights. If you're going to only be able to come on Saturday and Sunday, or just Sunday, we're begging you right now, we can't offer you anything but the early bird discount, to please go ahead and sign up for it so that we get the money that we need to be able to lock the dates in. And we feel confident that if we can get the deposit down, we've got commitment from people, we'll be able to make the festival go. It won't be a problem. But if people really aren't interested in getting together like we're interested, then we're not going to push it on people either. So this is really, really helpful. And I've talked to a lot of people, and they say they want to come. I'm telling you, I don't know that it's an entirely no risk thing because you might not like the programming that we have afterwards. But if we're going to tell you that even if you give us the money and we don't have the festival and it's non refundable, but we're going to let you have $250 worth of educational stuff from other people that we bring in that are awesome, then you're really not out anything, but it's a commitment of faith, and you're also committing to coming, meaning you're committing to to pay the rest of it because we do need that. We do need that too. But it would be like, I think sometimes people lose track of time and they think, well, if I miss it by a day or two, it's not going to be a big deal. But in this case, it is a big deal because when she says we're going to give this to Harvard instead of you all, then Harvard's going to sign the contract. I'm not saying it is Harvard, but that's an example. That's one of the groups that goes there. They're going to sign the contract because they already have. September in New England is the most beautiful time. Suppose like the leaves and everything like that. It's a really high season. It's not a low season. So it's a very, very desirable time to be in this area in September. And this is a nature preserve right off from the right off. It's like, I don't know, a mile from the ocean. It's in they call it like a vernal area. It's like this like pure water area, and it's backed up on a reservation. You can go to Essex Woods and look it up on Essex Woods in Essex, Massachusetts. It's Essex Woods Conference and Retreat Center, and see what a lovely place it is. And what do we say? Let me look. I got another question here. What's the save? What's the? Sorry, let me look at this. What if I pay more to help with the deposit? So if you pay, we'd love for you to pay more to help with the deposit. That would be awesome. I think realistically, so we welcome that. There's no more, we have a the cost of the facility, we can't discount because they just take it from us. We have the ability to give scholarships and discount the services that Vintage offers, but I can't make them give us that. So we have to pay for the people that are at the festival using the facility. We have to pay for our production staff and the faculty. So that cost is an irreducible cost. So if you can pay more, that would be great. We really appreciate it. But we really do want to have 20 people because it's reflective of who's coming. If we have 20 people and that's all that we had, we could still have a great festival, like it would be a little bit smaller, but it's in a beautiful area. We'd get more time to spend together. We'd still get to perform. We'd have more opportunities individually to perform. So that kind of a critical number is 20 people. And then with the $250 deposit will get us up. Our real cost that we have to give to the center is about $5,400. So if we're heading and targeting for 5,000, if you pay more, you just help bump us up, and you have less to pay later. To get to the center, you've got options. I don't really think it is about 30 miles north of the airport. You do not have to go through Boston. You just go from the airport up onto the North Shore. You can take an Uber. The Uber, depending on the time of day, the Uber can cost between $50 and $70 one way. It might be difficult to arrange that with another person unless you're traveling with them, but coming back, you should have no problem at all arranging, a return trip. There are people that have offered to pick people up at the airport, and I think there are probably people from Boston that don't have cars. If they can either go to the airport and take an Uber and arrange with somebody to go with them, or we can probably figure out a way to get somebody with a car that meets at a time that's convenient for them to get them there. So we don't want the fact that it's in Essex to be a barrier. But like I said, once you get here, there really aren't any other costs. I mean, if you want beer and wine, you got to get the beer and wine, or you can order it and we'll get it. But I mean that there's no wine or beer included in this, but everything else is, including snacks. There's a fire pit there. They'll give us the makings for s'mores. There's snacks, tea, coffee, and everything all day long. If you have special dietary needs and they're not too restrictive, I'm trying to think what she gave me some examples. Like they have vegetarian, I'm sure they have vegan alternatives, gluten free, but there might be like if everybody that came that hadn't pre-ordered gluten free, it's probably not going to be possible for the people that didn't order the gluten-free to pig out on whatever that is, because they're making it for the people. It's small, it's a small place. So it's not like they got 100 people to spread it around. They just have our group. So if you have some special dietary need like that, you just need to let us know ahead of time so that we can clear it with them, and they're perfectly happy to do that. It's a lovely, lovely place. We went out, Fran and I went out last week. It's still kind of winterish here, even though it's spring. It was, there weren't any flowers out, but it was really beautiful. It is not, I should make this clear, it is not wheelchair accessible. I've sort of thought when I talked to her, that maybe it might be if we could just get them up the initial steps. But once I walked through it, it is clearly not. There are 3 levels, maybe 4 levels of stairs tiered around, and one of them is the coming up into the building itself. So if you had a need to not climb so many stairs, you could request, when we send out the follow-up form, you could request a lower level room so that you wouldn't have to climb so many stairs. They have a hot tub, so if your knees get tired from climbing the stairs, you can get in the hot tub, and they've got a sauna that's there. We yeah, we're probably going to, I have a tendency to try to do a lot of things, in case you haven't realized that about me. And so I'm going to work really, really hard to build in enough time that we just get to spend it together. So that by having it be hybrid, we should be able to pace things so that we have time to talk, time to, sing. Okay. So far, the faculty, Jonathan will be here in a few minutes, Jonathan Pitts, Dina Crease, and Tom Toloneri, our original Vintage Improv Festival music director, coming to us from Belgium again. Yay, Tom. So, he's a piano playing maniac. We could probably keep him playing if we wanted to do, just sing around the piano when we weren't, having performances. So they'll definitely, the options are for music improv. If you were in vintage vinyl, the original vintage vinyl from 2019, and you come back to the festival this year, and then depending on how many people there were, if you were in the 2020 online vintage vinyl with Dave Asher, probably we would invite you, and we would have this special thing. Like we would be working with Tom as a special intensive, not one of the regular intensives. We just practice some and do some performing for people, like maybe at lunchtime or dinner time, so you have like a dinner theater or whatever. So, and then we'll also have music improv intensives in addition to other things. And we'll have the Oracle, which Jonathan can talk to us a little bit about. We'll be able to have music along with that, not necessarily singing, but music as an integral part of what happens during that particular form. So it's going to be like really, really nice if we just get people over the hump of understanding that April the 7th is too late. Okay, I mean, just assume that April the 6th is the day, and then after that, there probably is not going to be an option. If for some reason the manager of the site were to say, oh, Okay, you've got 18 people. I'm going to give you another day to get 20. Man, but I don't know. I don't know if I have the energy to do that. So please, please just sign up, take the leap, and support us. And like I said, I, um, how can I find out who else is going? Oh, okay. Well, I guess at this moment, the list is, I've got 6 people. So it's pretty easy to tell you. If you mean in the future who's going so you can try to coordinate things, when we send out the information sheet, we'll ask you if it's okay to give your contact information, and then we'll just share it with people. So so I don't know if that answered the question or not. If it didn't, just let me know. If you want to know who's coming now, I don't have their permission yet to say it. Well, David's coming. I'm sure he doesn't care. David Silverman is coming. But everybody else, I haven't asked if it's okay to broadcast it over the world. So we'll have to get their permission first. But yeah, so I think what we'll do is make a group, a Facebook group that's private for the people that have done the pre-registration, and I'll set that up. I guess I can set it up now, tonight, afterwards. This doesn't, and that way the people that are pre-registered will invite to be in that group, and then they can communicate with each other. So I am hoping that that Jonathan will be here in a minute. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I should tell you about. It's a non-smoking facility. It's not handicap accessible. It's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, well, so Monday is what I'm calling Monday Fun Day. So we don't know exactly what we're going to do on Monday, and some people are going to have to leave, but we can stay there until 4 p.m. So we'll arrange some fun things to do, whether they're things that we do on site there, or there's this place, if you really want some unhealthy New England fare, there's this place. It's kind of a landmark. It's called Woodman's, and so Woodman's is in Essex. It's about a mile from this place, and they have the original fried clam bellies of the world. They're pretty good, but they do probably still cook them in lard. At least that's what they used to do. I think it's fun. It's kind of expensive. It's not included in your budget. I think the box of onion rings and French fries and clam bellies is about $35 per order. They also have lobster rolls. So I'm sure there are people that'll have cars, and if you just had to have the Woodman's experience, you could. But there's a lot of other things. So if you didn't want to do something on the site then, and there will be people that have cars there, there's other things around that you could maybe do. I would say that if you're going to perform on Saturday, if you're planning on coming to Saturday, Sunday, I'd sign up early because you get preference to spend the night, and you could come in as early as Friday so that you're ready to go on Saturday, because if we do the Saturday, Sunday 2-day things, you'll be able to do 2 of them, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And here comes Jonathan Pitts. Yay! Now, so here's Jonathan. It's going to save me from having to have you listen to me talking the whole time. Hi, Jonathan. Can't hear you. Is that me or is that you? Still don't hear you. Can read your lips. You just said, how about now? But I didn't hear you. Xander, it's not us, right? Yeah, no, you're not muted. So, well, you get to look at Jonathan's handsome face while he tries to figure out his sound right now, and I can do my best to make him blush. Ah, something just happened, Jonathan.
All right, so I'm back on, I think.
Yay, yay. Let me move this so I can see you up here. Come up here. I'm there. Oh, phooey. Okay, so welcome. I appreciate so much you coming, to do this tonight because I really need to encourage people to sign up the 6th, and or else we're going to have to not have it in real life. And how late are the shows? I'm getting questions. So the shows will probably we are not limited in this site like we were in Somerville, so we can have them as late as we want. In sort of penciling together, if we had 40 people, which I don't know that we will, but if we had 40 people, they could probably go till about 11:30. If we have fewer than that, they won't go that long. Um, So, Jonathan, I'm
Hello.
having a retreat, and I want everybody to know that at first I was like, oh, I don't know, and when you suggested it, but now I've got my head around it, and it's like the best. It's like the best. What made you think of that?
Oh, because there's some other retreats that happen in America, North America, that are improv retreats, and so they're successful and people like them. But this would make more sense because the vintage community has not been together in person for 2 years, and it seems like to me like this ought to be a celebration of that sort of return by having a retreat for the vintage community to see each other live in person, and then later on, maybe 2023, you go back to having a festival.
So sweet. So I think the other thing, which I hadn't really thought of when you mentioned it, was just all the COVID concerns. We can be like this sort of bubble of COVID protection amongst ourselves, and that
Absolutely.
hopefully adds just another level of security for people when they're thinking about coming. So I've had a lot of people tell me how excited they are that you're going to be with us. So
Well, I am looking forward to it. I already have it in my calendar, and I also think it'd be great to meet everybody in person because I think there's nobody in the vintage community that I've met. Oh well, there's Linda Ray who I met once. She was
your
going
microphone,
through.
I think your microphone is buzzing.
Is that better?
No, it's still buzzing.
Okay. And I plugged it back in.
That sounds perfect. So I think you have to repeat everything you just said because it sounded like a Martian.
Oh well, back here on Earth. I'm super excited about being part of the retreat this year because I, with the exception of Linda Ray, who I had a lunch with when she was dropping through Chicago, I've never met anybody in person yet. So I look forward to being able to see everybody in real life and not just a small square on a Zoom thing.
You don't like our squares? No. Oh, so I kind of um, can you tell us about the Oracle?
Yeah, it's a show that I created a long time ago, and I've done it in certain circumstances with different people. And I've done it internationally. I've done it in Czech Republic. I've done it in Vienna, and I've done it in Chicago. And it's for to use it in improv terms, it is a free form improv, but it also is very much a theater production in the sense of that it has the theater setting. And it's called the Oracle because, much like the Oracle that was done by the Greeks, you know, the audience will ask questions and then the improvisers will attempt to answer them through a combination of scene work, monologues, poetry, music, whatever it takes, and it blows people away. And sometimes the answers are funny, and sometimes they're very sincere. And everyone who attends or watches has to ask questions, and they have to write down that question on a piece of paper and put it in the basket in the middle of the stage. And then one actor uh, is the priest or priestess, and their job is to interpret the work that's being created by the improvisers. And then the remaining part of the people are the Delphi, and they are the ones who go into the trance state to decipher the possibilities of the oracle's question.
So people don't have to put their name on the questions,
They
right?
do
They just
not. In fact, we don't want it that.
yeah. It's just that they have to give a question so that there's a lot. It sound and so normally you have to work with people quite a while on this form, right?
Um, Usually, I can get it up in about a week. So if I work with some people ahead of time online, and then work with people in person at the retreat, it'll be fine.
Yeah. So we can do it. We're like so that's really cool. And then we're going to do the monoscene, and I'm going to like I have people requesting to do silent movie.
Oh wow, okay.
So maybe we can squeeze them all in.
Well, for the silent movie, we'll need like some sort of projector, that can project, and then a white screen so that the people can improvise in front of it. Because with the silent movie, you are only improvising in front of that screen. So if you're out, not in the screen, you're not in the scene.
So we can, yeah, we can do, we can get all that stuff together. So I was just sort of letting you know that I had people that were like requesting doing that. So
Well, I've done the silent movie in Chicago a couple of times, and I've also done it in London, and it's very fun and very physical.
so you've been traveling now, right? You've been doing some traveling.
Not yet. I'm leaving on Thursday of this week.
And where are you going?
I'm going to London, Ireland, Scotland, and the Netherlands. It'll
That's
be
so
my
cool.
first time leaving the country to do improv since I came back from Vienna on October 31st, 2019.
And so how long are you going to be there for?
For 3 weeks.
That's cool. That's cool. That's so exciting.
Yeah, I am excited about. Uh, yes, I'm definitely excited about it because I've loved. I really enjoy doing the work online on Zoom, but I love doing it in person. And it's been one of the joys of my life to be able to work with people internationally and in their home country within their own culture.
So if we this okay, so I'm gonna put this out here. I have absolutely no idea if number one we'll get enough people to come to the festival that I can underwrite it. But number two, I have no idea if he really has the time or the interest in coming. But I just want to like invite Michael Gelman to just be there.
Oh,
Wouldn't
yeah, I
that be
bet you he'd
cool?
come. And now that he lives in Canada, he would be considered an international artist.
So anyway, I asked him to call or that we if we could talk tonight, but I've been so busy I haven't looked to see, so I don't know if he's got those dates. But I just so anyway, there's a lot of ifs. But guys, just like help make it so we know we can have a real in real life thing together, and that April 6th is the deadline, and get to spend time with Jonathan. He'll just hang around,
I
right?
feel like we're part of a national public radio or public TV segment.
Yes, yes, let's do it. Let's do it. We'll improvise that. Okay, Jonathan.
Well, if you sign up today, not only do you get to go to the retreat, you also get this lovely tote bag, and you also get the DVD version of previous shows.
He's making that up, guys. I can't afford it. That's a joke.
There was nothing in my hand.
So, but seriously, like you'll be there the whole weekend, and you're just, like people can actually spend time with you, yeah, And
And certainly something like the silent movie is something people don't have to work on before that weekend. We can just do
yeah,
it that weekend.
yeah, yeah. So, so I don't know. Is there anything else? What else? What other kind of pitches can you do for me, Jonathan? Or what can you do for yourself?
Well,
What?
I also think that doing the mono scene in person is going to be a blast for people because I've had to find a way to modify it for being on Zoom. But once people are in a three-dimensional environment with a stage area, the sort of missing parts of the mono scene, you know, instead of being clunky, it just clicks together and you go, aha. So,
So, so do you still do the six-sided wear or whatever?
no,
Do
I
you
don't
do
do the
that?
six-sided
That was
wear. That's
only
just for
for
Zoom.
Zoom.
Yeah.
Well, that was so cool. So if you never took the monoscene with Jonathan, you don't know what that is, and we have the special knowledge that we
Yep.
share because
I mean,
yeah.
in person, you just kind of go backstage real quickly and set the stage with what things are where, and then you go out and do it.
So, do you have any other travel plans after you come back from Europe?
Well, I'm going to be teaching for the Piven Theater workshop here in Chicago for like 6 weeks. And in the summer, I'm going off to work with a children's improv theater in Houston. So I'm going to be there in July. And I've also probably going to be going for a week sometime in the summer to go to Barcelona.
Ah, sweet.
Yeah. And quite possibly that the weekend after the retreat, I might be in Singapore for their improv festival.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. See, I figure somehow I should be able to get people to invite me to come to their improv festivals because I can do something about incorporating people over 50 into improv, right? I don't know how, Okay, guys, you hear that? Um, anyway, but I don't think that's an improv workshop like teaching improv. That's just teaching people that are interested in reaching out.
Right.
Anyway, thank you so much for
You
coming to
bet.
my,
And please, everybody, come to this retreat. I can't wait to meet you in person and spend time with you in person. It's going to be a wonderful weekend. It's going to be a blast. And what else are you doing that weekend?
got to spend time with us. Oh, have you met Dina in person? Dina Crease?
Yes.
She's going to be teaching. She's already confirmed. So
Great.
have you met Tom Tolinari from Belgium? Nope. So he's going to be our music director. That's right because we talked about using music. Anyway, so yeah. Well, everybody, we're just going to sign off here and thank you, Jonathan, for
Thank you.
helping me on this National Public Radio simulation. Trying to get people April 6th. Sign up now. Do not wait until April 6th. If you have any questions at all, message me at Miki Ranting on Facebook. Send a message to the website. Do whatever, but don't go past April the 6th. We're
All
ready,
right.
fam. We're going to say goodbye. Watch out. Timeless is up next, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.